Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jeff, and I'm here to talk to you guys about a speech that was made previously regarding the FIFA World Cup. The main proposition made was that the FIFA World Cup is hurting countries rather than helping them. The three claims used to support this proposition include the qualifications for having the FIFA World Cup in a country need to be revised, construction workers do not take safety precautions due to the time restraint, and three, having to make the stadiums, venues, and hotels for the World Cup takes a lot of money and can throw the country into debt. After breaking down this speech and looking at the evidence, I'm here to argue that you cannot jump to the conclusion that the FIFA World Cup is hurting the countries, and it is because of the nature of the three claims. Claim number one, the qualification for having the FIFA World Cup in a country need to be revised. Before you can even look at the evidence, the claim itself is irrelevant to the proposition. It does not explain why the World Cup is hurting. It is actually rather a response, assuming you have already accepted the proposition as true. The claim is irrelevant, therefore the evidence is also irrelevant. There are two pieces of evidence used. One relates to the guidelines for the stadium, and the second one relates to the bribery of the FIFA Council. Both pieces of evidence are irrelevant. However, based on the evidence used, I can argue that you can't even make the stretch in order to support the proposition. The first evidence that relates to the constructions of the football stadiums. The football stadiums book published in 2004 states that the FIFA recommends a minimum of 30,000 seats. This does not say required. This piece of evidence no longer becomes the FIFA Council's problem, but rather the engineers under the government. You can't blame the FIFA Council and make the stretch that the stadium guidelines at all affects the country. The second piece of evidence, the FIFA Council has admitted to accepting bribes, but you can't blame the FIFA Council solely for this bribery. They also have to take into consideration the government. Irregardless, both the evidence and the claim is irrelevant to the proposition being made. The second claim made is that the construction workers do not take safety precautions due to time constraints. The two pieces of evidence used, number one, the statistic of 1,200 deaths in Qatar in the construction of their stadium, and two, 1,000 families were relocated in Rio in the 2014 World Cup. Both pieces of evidence, after researching, were blown out of proportion. The evidence number one, the 1,200 deaths. The article used was by Stephenson Wesley. The article was titled, "Have 1,200 World Cup workers really died in Qatar?" It does state that 1,200 deaths were recorded, but further along down the article, it contradicts itself. The article states, another factor that needs to be taken into account is that according to one estimate, a third of migrant workers in Qatar don't even work in construction. The International Trade Union Confederation is counting the deaths of workers in any line of work from any cause, including road accidents and heart attacks. The evidence contradicts itself. You can no longer blame the World Cup for this number. The numbers are completely irrelevant to the proposition. The second evidence used for this claim is that 250,000 families were relocated in the construction of the stadium in Rio. This piece of evidence is unreliable, and it's because I found evidence regarding the same exact situation that states an article by Jonathan Watts and Owen Gibson that at least 1,900 families have been moved to make way for roads, renovated stadiums, an athletes village, and ambitious redevelopment of the port area, and other projects that have been launched or accelerated to prepare for the city's world's two biggest sporting events. These numbers are in two different sides of the extreme. You have 19,000, you have 250,000. The case and the studies is completely unreliable. It is true that how some families were relocated, but there are studies that show that this can actually be beneficial. In the same article, it states that thousands have died over the years in floods and landfalls. Taking this, some of the relocation efforts are actually beneficial. Both pieces of evidence for this claim are unreliable and blown completely out of proportion. The third claim is that to make the stadiums and the hotels, it throws the country into debt. The evidence used was that Brazil spends $14.9 billion on the stadium compared to the U.S. Obviously, U.S. being the richer country. By researching the post on 538 by ESPN, 11.3 billion of the 14.9 billion used in Brazil was spent on public workers. This is money that goes straight to the people. It does not go to the government. In fact, you can make the argument that the FIFA World Cup is actually helping them by throwing money back into the economy. I did some research and I found a report by Ernst & Young Durco that says 3.6 million jobs have been created in civil construction, food and beverage, business services, utility, IT, and tourism industries in Brazil. Essentially saying the World Cup is actually helping the economy of Brazil. So altogether, this evidence, you can actually make a counterclaim to it. So by looking at the three evidence, one, the country needs to be revised is completely irrelevant. Two, the construction workers do not take safety precautions. The numbers are blown out of proportions and you can't find hard facts about it. And three, the stadium are throwing the countries into debt. You can make a claim that it's actually helping the economy. By looking at these three, I hope you guys will agree with me that the argument made is not enough to jump to the conclusion that the FIFA World Cup is hurting countries rather than helping them. Thank you.
All right, the claim and the secondary claims are previewed pretty accurately. Your general argument is that you can't make this inference. You repeat that at the end of the speech in the summary, which I thought was pretty effective. You suggest that there are some problems with the first point being relevant, and I think that that's a very valid point. If it's really not relevant, you need to explain that. You go ahead and then make the argument about why even the proof on that point is not accurate. It takes a lot of time to do that, and I think you might have been better off devoting some time to that second point where there seemed to be some ambiguity about what the negative consequences are. The idea that there's a harm because of the qualification process. Was there any demonstration? What's the harm of bribery, for instance, even if it does occur? What's the harm of this whole system that's being used here in imposing certain requirements? I think you split some hairs on the recommendations versus the requirement issue. The idea that it's the responsibility of the government and not FIFA. Okay, that's a reasonable press, but again, I think you're spending a lot of time on something that you've already said is not really relevant. The second issue, I think, is the one where there are bigger fish to fry, and you do a pretty good job of this. You kind of debunk the 1,200 deaths in Qatar, and you use the advocate's own source to suggest that there's problems with the statistics that are going on here. I think that we could use a little bit more information on how that number of 1,200 deaths was acquired in the first place. The information that you have, though, seems to undermine the legitimacy of the number at all, and certainly it's an exaggeration. Although if it's only 800, that still seems like a lot, just to have stupid. I don't want to say stupid soccer, But 800 deaths that's a lot for. I mean, if it was 100 people had to die in order to have the Super Bowl, I'd be going, I'm not sure, that's a good idea, unless I could pick the 100 people. Then maybe it'd be okay. The exaggeration on the number of people who were displaced in Rio, I thought you had a pretty good explanation. Look, one group says it's 19,000, one group says it's 250,000. It's being hyped up, but we think it's probably something less than the maximum, and maybe it's closer to the minimum. But your argument is that there's not really a harm from people being relocated. I thought that was the good answer on that particular point, that there's actually a benefit there. Sometimes you sound like you're a little dubious about making those arguments. In fact, on the third point, the whole third point says, well, I guess you could make the argument the other direction. Well, why don't you make the argument? Instead of saying you could make the argument, say, this is the argument. This is a benefit. Yeah, is it expensive? Well, they do spend a lot of money, but here's what they get for it. They get, 3 million jobs. They get advanced facilities. They get tourism going on here. On the other point, they get people located in new places that are less dangerous, that kind of thing. Make those arguments. Don't just make them hypothetical. I think you want to make them claims. All right, thank you.